Hi everyone, Rachel from North Brisbane Psychologists here. Today I wanted to talk about highly sensitive people. You might have heard this phrase HSP or highly sensitive person. You might have thought that it was a cop-out or an excuse. You might have thought that you are a highly sensitive person. You may never have heard of this phrase. I'm here to tell you that it's a real thing. There are highly sensitive people in the world who are more sensitive, more appreciative of the subtleties of life, emotionally, physically sensitized, and more so than other people. It's a real thing. A lot of therapists are highly sensitive people, which probably isn't surprising when you think about it. So I wanted to talk a bit more about what it is, point out that it's not a psychological disorder, and tell you what you can do to look after yourself if you are a highly sensitive person. Now, like all things, this is on a continuum. So some people will be more sensitive than others. But let me go through a couple of the sort of criteria, if you like. And I want to point out also that it's not a psychological disorder, but it may go with certain disorders. Now, a disorder is open for debate in psychology, but generally we think of something as a disorder if it interferes with your ability to function in the world. Get up in the morning, look after yourself, get ready, go out for the day to work or study or whatever you need to do. Maintain relationships. These are some of the key things that we consider to be, people functioning in the world. And when their mental and emotional health means that they are struggling to function to an extent, then we start talking about disorders. However, highly sensitive people may sometimes have a disorder. Most people who are on the autism spectrum are very sensitive in certain ways to sensory input and emotionally sensitive as well. A lot of people with ADHD are also very sensitive. Some people who may have a diagnosis of an anxiety disorder or a mood disorder would also be highly sensitive people. And then there are others who have no diagnosis, no diagnosable disorder, and are highly sensitive. Let me go through some characteristics and see if this is you. So if you are easily overwhelmed by bright lights, strong smells, loud sounds, coarse fabrics, that might be one thing you experience. If you get very rattled when you have a short amount of time to complete something, that could be another sign. If you make a point of avoiding violent movies or violent TV shows because you're easily affected by films and shows, withdrawing on busy days, wanting to get under your doona into a darkened room or some other place where you have privacy and relief from the overwhelming situation. If you make it a high priority in your life to arrange things so you have to avoid overwhelming or upsetting situations, perhaps you have a real ability to notice the subtleties of life, delicate or fine scents or tastes or sounds or works of art, these sorts of things. If you have a rich and complex inner life, then that'll be another sign. And when you were a child, perhaps teachers or parents said you were a sensitive child or a shy child. So you can see why a lot of artists, a lot of creatives, writers, therapists may also fit into this category of being highly sensitive. And you can see, like many things in life, it comes with challenges and it also comes with benefits and strengths. So if you are a highly sensitive person, honor yourself, honor your strengths, accept yourself as a highly sensitive person. You can't change that. You need to look after yourself. You need to make sure you're getting enough sleep. You need to make sure you are eating well. Probably you've also got a sensitive brain and nervous system, and maybe a sensitive digestive system. Maybe all the systems in your body are sensitive. Some people I know who are highly sensitive have found it useful to wear noise-cancelling headphones if auditory triggers are one of their sensitivities. all highly sensitive people need to plan for decompression time. You've got to know yourself so you can look after yourself. If you need downtime at the end of the day, every day at some point, plan for that. Make sure you've got a quiet space in your home, a room or an area where you can retreat and get away from people and from bright lights and sounds. Do things to look after yourself, like have a candlelit bath or a long shower, listen to relaxing music. Make sure you plan a lot of these things in your life. Reading time, meditation time. Give yourself the time and space that you need when things need to be done. You probably don't like to feel pressured and rushed, so you need to plan for that. Another thing I've noticed with highly sensitive people is they probably need to limit caffeine and alcohol because their systems are quite sensitive. Be careful with drugs and alcohol and caffeine. And another tip that I've been given by a client recently is to plan life in such a way that you can get things done in the off hours. So she goes to the supermarket first thing when they open or in the last hour before they close to avoid the crowds, to make sure she gets a parking spot. So there are ways that you can plan your life and arrange your life to cope with your sensitive systems. And the other one that I wanted to point out was surrounding yourself with beauty and with nature. Highly sensitive people usually like to reduce clutter and enjoy simplicity. So I hope that this is helpful with some ideas if you needed them, and just validating for all of you highly sensitive people out there. All right, until next time, bye for now.